I've got the gift of one-liners, and you've got the curse of curves. I've become what a mother wouldn't want in the sun.
Hello. Welcome back to 3 Men, 1 Band. What is so funny? We're 5 seconds in.
We haven't even said anything yet.
All I did was introduce, and he's already laughing.
The way you said hello.
Oh,
This is going
sorry.
to be a long pod.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, I'm the Monkey Man, and with me I have...
The president.
And Kevin.
There we
Hello,
go. All
Kevin.
right.
Good job.
So, last week we discussed Ice Nine Kills. And I'm going on a whim and guessing that because I have no idea what the last band we recorded was. I think it was Ice Nine Kills.
I'm pretty sure it was. It was
It
Kevin's
was.
pick.
Yes, it was Ice Nine Kills. At the end of that, I picked the next band. And it was Cute Is What We Aim For. Now, here's a funny story. We attempted to record this about 2 weeks ago. And I finished the whole 20-minute backstory of Cute Is What We Aim For. And I was asking for the thoughts of the other two. All I heard was snoring.
Who could that have been, Jordan? Who fell asleep?
Kevin fell asleep in the middle of the recording.
Kevin.
No, don't
what?
do me like that. That was not me. John was snoring his ass off.
I did no such thing. My ass is just fine.
No, not that night. We checked the camera. You were snoozing in your chair, and your ass literally walked off and got its own beer.
All right, well, at least you got a drink, you know.
Yep. Oh, we need some.
I might do it again tonight, just for fun.
I'll see you at Hoppers in 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah, I'm
Me and
calling an
Kevin
Uber
will be
right
there.
now.
Me and Kevin are actually there right now.
I'm calling an Uber right now.
Perfect.
There we go. All right, so Cute Is What We Aim For. This is definitely one of the bands of the late 2000s. So, are we ready for my 4 pages of Cute Is What We Aim For?
Sure.
Oh boy. All right, so I normally have it split up into like the backstory, then I dive into the band members. So a quick note about the band members. I mean, they've gone through about 12, and they only put out 2 albums, no EPs or anything. So I'm kind of going to gloss over a lot of the ones that were there for like 6 months, and you'll see why. So, Cute Is What We Aim For. Back in 2005, they formed in Buffalo, New York, by a couple of friends. Who are these friends that you ask? Well, the singer's name I can never pronounce. His name is Giant Hasikian. He is on vocals. We have guitar/piano player Jeff Sism, I think is how you say it. Drummer Tom Captain Falcon. We have bassist Fred Samato, and that is our original group right there. I probably messed up half of those names. The name came from Mr. Hasikian. I'll just call him that from here on out. The vocalist. He wanted he had a desire for something catchy and cute, kind of like you, Kevin. And
Thanks.
it was a nod to a friend. They quickly gained traction by posting demos, where else but MySpace, and Pure Volume. They ended up winning Pure Volume's Battle of the Bands in 2005, which got them a spot at the coveted Bamboozle Festival, a huge, basically national headlining festival, or a lot of big names played on it. So this exposure got them signed to where every pop punk band was trying to get to back then, on Fueled by Ramen's records. And, of course, they kind of just got catapulted straight up into the upper echelon, I guess you could say, with that. So their debut album was called The Same Old Blood Rush with a New Touch. It dropped in early 2006. It had the massive hit, The Curse of Curves, which was all over the radio waves, MTV, MySpace. It was trending everywhere. Everyone knew the song. It was just that big. And then they had another minor hit called There's a Class for This. This album ended up hitting number 75 on the Billboard 200. And then the follow-up album, Rotation, hit number 21. So they were able to get some pretty moderate success in the very beginning. Now, with success comes lots of issues, especially with a vocalist. Mr. Hasikian decided to cause, not maybe his cause, but he was definitely the center of a lot of controversies. The band went through a lot of lineup changes and struggles, and a lot of that is kind of not circled, maybe like followed the singer around. He had a very well-known and documented alcohol issue. Don't think he had any drug issues as far as I know, but alcohol was a big one. In 2009, the band just disbanded. And this is pretty much a theme for, like, it seems like every pop punk band that wasn't Fall Out Boy. Well, I don't even know why I said that. Fall Out Boy was huge and they broke up in 2009. Pretty much every pop punk band has decided to break up in 2009 for some reason. They ended up reuniting in 2012. But there has been no music since. And they have only been very sporadically active. The singer attempted the band as like a solo act in 2010 and hired a bunch of like touring musicians, which is where all these other band members kind of come in and fall into place. So we're not going to go through all this. We are going to dive into the singer really quick. I have a blurb about him. So he is a very, very polarizing figure. Definitely one of the more polarizing ones in the whole emo and pop punk scene. He's been blasted all over Reddit and Twitter and everything like that. He has had some pretty, not major controversies, but he made a lot of unpopular comments in 2016 on rape culture. Now, if you're making unpopular comments on rape culture, you can probably already assume what they're saying. So we're not going to go into that. And then in 2017, he had some tweets on sexism and racism. And you can probably already assume what he was saying. So 2017 is kind of the last time this band really ever sees any sort of limelight. Even though I think they have toured a little bit since. I don't fully remember. But we're going to jump into their tours really quick, because even being active for only 2 years, boy, do they have a lot of tours. So in 2005, they went on a tour called the Rookie of the Year and Dave Malillo Tour. This was a very early tour, right after forming, kind of helped build their first little fan base. And then they didn't take another tour until 2007. This was a headlining U.S. tour. They were supported by this Providence and one of Kevin's favorite bands, All Time Low. All Time Low was opening up for The Cute Is What We Aimed For back then. This was early 2007. This is right before Dear Maria, Count Me In was released. And this tour followed their first album, obviously. This was early 2007. And then after that, they went on the alternative. Whoa, why am I echoing? All right, you got it.
You sound fine.
No,
Yeah, you sound fine to me.
Oh, I thought I was echoing through somebody else's computer.
Nope.
All right. Right after that first tour, they went on the Alternative Press Bands You Need to Know tour in the middle of 2007. This was they co-headlined this with a band called Circa Survive. They are a huge band now, or still. And then they had support from As Tall as Lions and Envy on the Coast, two kind of smaller scene bands. All right. And then what does every band in this kind of genre do? In the summer of 07, they went on the Warped Tour. They were on the whole thing that whole hot summer. After that, they went on the Young Wild Things Tour. This is arguably their biggest tour because they got to support Fall Out Boy, who were at their height, Gym Class Heroes, who were at their height, the Plain White Tees right after Hey There Delilah came out, and they were basically just the opening slot on that tour. This is a very high profile tour and got them a lot of name. Now, here is where it gets weird for Cute Is What We Aim For. They had their second album come out in 08. They did not tour in 2008 or 2009. There was no tour for that second album. They did not tour again until 2010. It is called Down with Webster Tour. This is part of the singer's solo revival act with this band. And boy, it did not go too well. He also tried. What's that?
I have a question.
Sure.
They broke up in 2009, but
Yep.
they
So the band officially broke up in 09, but in 2010, the singer, in a way, acquired the rights to the band and revived it as like a solo thing. Without all of the original members. I guess a good example was like Panic at the Disco. It was a whole band, and then it became the Brendan Urie Show for the last 15 years. But it still used the name Panic at the Disco. It's kind of the same thing here, except Cute Is What We Aim For does not have that star power or name recognition. So he tried that tour, 2010. It did okay. He able to draw some people with the name. Did an Australian tour in 2010 to kind of hit all the little cities there. No tours again until 2013, where the took them on the All-Star Weekend headlining tour. 2013, they supported All-Star Weekend, which was a huge, I guess, not pop punk, but like a poppy boy band that never hit the heights of like One Direction. They're still arena band. This is part of their comeback. Oh wait, no. So at this point, this is 2012. So this is the original lineup. The original lineup is back in 2012. So this is their first tour back. Then they went on their own headlining tour in 2013 of October, a quick, I think, like 6-stop tour. And then later, at the very end of 2013, they went on a tour with You Me at 6. And quick thing about them, they are right now in real life just now playing their last ever show and ending. You Me at 6 had a nice long career. This I did not know in 2014 because I was at this Warped Tour. Here's what we aim for. Played that whole Warped Tour. I wish I had known that. I would have gone and seen them. In 2016, they played a 10-year anniversary tour for Same Old Blood Rush. They did a full playthrough of the album plus some minor hits from rotation. And then in 2019, they did a UK tour with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, and that is the last time they were active. Yeah. So there really isn't a whole lot about this band. They only put out 2 albums in like a year and a half span, and then it was just controversies after. So there just isn't a lot. It's so weird how you can have a massive hit like The Curse of Curves, and there just isn't a lot about you. Like, I'm looking at their Spotify. The Curse of Curves is almost 75 million plays, and the next highest is 10. But if there's no questions, we can jump into the albums.
Let's jump on in.
All right,
Sounds good to me.
So we have 2006's. Let me get some notes for the albums. All right, 2006's. The same old Blood Rush with a new touch. Do you guys want to kick it off, or should I kick it off?
I'm happy to kick it off. I've just got
All
a
right.
couple notes here. So
John's got some notes on it.
first
Let's
off,
hear the
I
notes.
I thought this
Let's
was
hear
a.
the notes.
I'll get it to voice play or something. I don't know. So I think it's a good album. I do think though there's a lot of other bands in this genre that sound very similar. There was not a whole lot that really stood out to me that would separate them from anyone else. So be that as it is. Um, the first song on this album that I really was like, okay, this is a good song. I like this. This is going in the rotation would be Risque. I, I really enjoyed that one. I don't think that was one of their big hits, but it was in my book. The
Hmm.
other tune that I really liked off this album, it's also got kind of a funny name. I like it. It's sort of a pun. It's I Put the Metro in Metronome. Um, if it's just a fun title, a fun song, good overall. The rest of the album, I didn't really take a whole lot of notes on because it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. It was just
Yeah.
kind of I put it on, it played, and it was a nice background music for what I was doing that day. Um, so
And
overall, I gave this an album a 7.9. I thought
wow,
that's fair.
that's
Um,
really good. It's
yeah,
bordering excellent.
I don't know. I like it was. See, I thought it was very consistent. Like there was
Yeah.
no song I would have skipped on this. I just didn't have the star power for me to put it up to the eights. But I thought it was a good album that progressively got better. I thought it ended a lot stronger than it began. Um, and
Yeah,
then
I
I
will
just
say, yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, and then again I just reiterate like there are this is a style of music I enjoy,
Yeah.
and this band's songs sound a lot like other bands in this genre. So it's just they're fitting the mold really well.
Yeah.
They're not taking any risks. It's their first album. They just kind of want to
Yeah.
fit in, blend in, go under the radar enough that they're not like kicked out,
Yep.
but do enough that they'll get some radio plays
Yep.
and all that stuff.
So you got this. So at this point in time, Blink-182 is no longer active when this is out, and people are all trying to, I guess you could say, mimic whatever Fall Out Boy's doing because they were the big dogs at this point. Them and Simple Plan and Sum 41, I guess, are the three big pop punk bands. And I would say that like them and the Academy is really mimic Fall Out Boy's sound. And something I thought that was crazy about this album is that this album, this first Cute Is What We Aim For one, sold over 210,000 copies as of 2016, I believe. It has not
Okay.
been marked gold yet, so it hasn't hit that 500,000 plateau. But they're saying that's probably pretty close. But as far as the beginning of the album, I do agree with you. Newport Living kind of starts kind of weird. It's just him not really singing, not really talking. I don't know. It was weird. Um, there's a class for this though. It's a banger. Um, Risque's good. The Fourth
Yeah.
Drink Instinct is a banger. Curse of Curves is a banger. Really weird music video though. Lyrical Lies is a good little acoustic song. And then Teasing the Please is a good little ender. One thing that I did really note about this album is that it was like comparing it to the Academy this is a very well produced album. Like it doesn't sound raw. Like it sounds like, all right, you're on the label, it's gonna sound perfect, ship it. And it really has that sound to it. I don't really have anything negative to say about this first album. It's very misogynistic. It's a good, I guess, one thing to say. But I gave this album an 8.0, one upping you a little bit.
Hey, there you go. Very on par so far.
There we
But
go.
Kevin will come in and wreck that. He'll say it's like a 2.3 and just
but
wreck
he'll
it
say
all.
but he'll say he loves it anyway.
Yeah, I love it,
It
but it's a
wasn't
2.
it wasn't screamy enough for me.
Oh, shut up.
2.5, but I loved it.
Okay, you dickheads.
Excuse me.
You're
You
only
heard
mad
what I
because it's true, brother.
No, I farted.
okay.
What you
So
call me?
I had to listen to this a few times because when I first went through and I listened to it, I
Had the wrong
I didn't.
language.
It was singing all in
I'm
German.
gonna quit this podcast if you guys don't stop being dicks.
All right, let's keep being dicks.
All
What you
right, I
say?
gave him a
Keep.
0. You want to go to the next album?
Did you say keep being or beating?
Oh my gosh.
6.8. Let's go to the next one.
Nah, Kevin. We need to hear your thoughts.
I thought it at first I had it at a 6.2 to 6.3.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of it. I knew I had to give it
Wow.
another. I had to give it another listen, and listening to it a second or a third time, my rating went up.
Okay. I respect that.
I didn't like Moan and Newport Living. I was not a fan of. There's a class for this. I will
No.
agree. It's very catchy. It's a banger.
Yep.
I did like that song. Risque, I'm gonna be the one that doesn't like that one. I know you two liked it, but that was not for me.
Oh, piss off.
The Fourth Drink Instinct wasn't bad. Um, The Curse of the Curves, that was a pretty good song too.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrical Lies, I enjoyed too. Um, and Teasing to Please at the end was just kind of.
Yeah.
I did bring it up to I had it 6.2, 6.3. Then I had it 6.6. I ended up giving it a 6.8.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say 6.9.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yep.
It wasn't that good.
Darn. Well, before we leave this album, the only thing I'm really gonna note other than this is that if you ever have time, you need to go and watch the music video for There's a Class for This, because he swishes and moves his hair out of his eyes 87 times. So, moving on to album number 2, we have Rotation. Now, I gotta admit, I love the album cover to Rotation. This album came out in somewhere about June 24th, 2008. Hit number 21 on the Billboard 200. But yet again, at this point, sales numbers are estimated to only be between 70 and 100,000.
Oh, that's criminal.
It kind of suffers the same thing as like a lot of other bands of this time did, especially like the Academy is and stuff, where labels want them to go a little poppier. And I don't really think that they did on this. When I first listened to it years ago, I was like, "This is gross." But I listened to it again recently, and I'm like, "This album is good. This is a really really good album." And it's a shame they never did a proper tour for it. I love Practice Makes Perfect. I play it. I hear it almost every day in my classroom because it's in my main playlist for the kids. Doctor's a great song. Loser's great. Hollywood's great. Miss Sobriety's a banger because we can all relate to it. Lockdown Denial is great. I mean, it's just a good album. Even if it is a little more polished, which I'm not a big fan of, it's just, I don't know. I love this album. I ended up giving it a 7.7.
So you liked this out? More songs were good on it, but it's a lower score.
I gave it a lower score because I think the first album had more influence.
Okay.
A more lasting influence on the genre. Yes,
All right.
Ducks.
Fair enough. Well, I thought this album did start out a lot stronger than Same Old Blood, but with a new rush. Like it just grabbed me right from the beginning. Navigate Me, nice song,
That's a good
enjoyable.
song. Yep.
Loser was very, very catchy, and I loved
Yep.
the drums. They were cool, engaging, upbeat, a lot of fun to listen to. It really, made the song enjoyable. I thought Hollywood was another very strong and exciting song, and it changed moods a few times too, which was a nice little added touch of complexity. In general, I thought this album had a lot of really good songs. I enjoyed listening to it a lot, like a lot, and I was actually disappointed when it finished. Like I wanted there to be more. Um, I
But yeah,
kept
it's really
wanting.
short.
Yeah, it is, and that bums me out, man.
That's just the genre for you. Most pop punk's
But
going to be under 40 minutes.
yeah, but 11 songs is not enough. Their
Yeah.
discography is far too small for me.
Yeah,
But
2 albums.
I know it's devastating, actually.
I'm
And
sorry.
I kept like every song that came on, I wanted to say, "Oh, this is a good song," but then my notes would have just been, "This is a good song. This is a good song. This is a good song." So I narrowed it down to the few that really stood up to the next level for me. But I thought it was all great, and much like the first album, right? I said there was no bad songs, but nothing exceptional either. I'd still say that's the same here. It was just
Yeah.
all consistently a step above the first album, in my opinion. Um, I I
What'd you give
disagree
it?
with you, Jordan, on the score because I think this album would actually push them up to me, and put them more in that conversation with. I'm not saying they'd be as big as Fall Out Boy or Panic at the
Oh,
Disco, but to
no.
me,
Yeah.
this album would push them closer to that sort of conversation. So I ended up going with an 8.5. I thought it was a phenomenal album. I really really liked it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think if this album had came out first, it would have been massive. Unfortunately, it came out in that '08 period where the pop punk thing was just it was on its last legs, and it did not get that. But you have convinced me to change my score. I made this album 8.0 as well because I realized as you were talking, I was like, you know, on rotation, I can actually hear the differentiation. Is that a word? Differentiation.
yeah,
Whatever. Differentiation with the instruments in every song. Whereas I think on the first album, it just kind of sounds the same throughout the whole thing. This one, I think it's a lot more well put together.
yeah. And oh, Jordan, what was that band I was texting you about? Is it Yellow Card or something like that?
Yes,
Yeah. So when I listen to this final album on Spotify, it runs out, then it starts playing, whatever, and it put on Yellow Card, which
of
I'd
course.
never heard of before, but I
Yellow
really
Card's
liked
great.
their music as well. And to me, that was just a testament to the quality of this band that
Yeah,
it puts on another group that I'm like, oh, this is really good too. So whatever they were doing is, I guess it's something that I like because it kept pushing more good music at me.
I'm guessing it's the drummers.
Yeah, I could see
But
that. I like a
but
good
yeah,
drummer.
but Yellow Card has a very interesting twist on pop punk. You probably like them because they have a violinist.
That doesn't hurt. I do like when people incorporate instruments like that, give it a
Yeah.
different twist.
Yep. All cute is what we aimed for. Added was alcoholism.
Well, can't fault them for that. Everyone tries it at some point.
But you can play Rumplemint as an instrument. Patrick can play
Yeah,
mayonnaise. You
yeah.
can play Rumplemint.
Oh yeah. Rumpelman can play you too in dangerous ways.
Hand me the car keys.
We are not promoting drinking and driving on this podcast.
No, I forgot something out in the car.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah. Come on now.
I get it.
Who would ever even joke about drinking and driving? That
No,
is just messed up, man. Holy
that is so
moly.
messed up. Come on.
I'm choking just at the thought of it.
You're
All right.
ridiculous.
All right. Evan, let's hear your 9.0 thoughts on this album.
You know what's really funny?
Oh
You're-
no.
You
I'll
actually
get
gave it
to
a
that.
9.0.
You got a DUI.
I did. I just got one. No.
Literally
Damn
right
it.
now.
While
Yeah.
recording this.
Yeah. So rotation. Practice makes perfect. I thought was a really good, strong start. Like the
Yeah.
compared to the
All
first
right.
album.
Now we're cooking.
Practice, yeah, that was a good that got me into it. Doctor, fast pace. It had me hooked. Navigate Me. I really liked Loser. I liked Hollywoods. I really liked where they I really like the trumpets in that song. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I
That's what
think
I
that
have written. That's what I have written down at least. I thought that was a cool,
yeah,
different kind of vibe, instrument wise.
yeah.
Hollywood's probably my favorite song off that album. That was really good. Um, Safe Ride was all right. The Lockdown, I liked. I I added this whole album to my playlist. There was nothing that
Really?
I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, there was nothing that I didn't dislike. Miss Sobriety was pretty good.
Sobriety's funny.
Yeah. Overall, I think you all would agree. I think they would have done a lot more going off this album. Like if they would have just kept going, I feel like they would have kept growing and getting bigger and bigger because this album really got me hooked into their music. I really enjoyed it.
That's interesting.
And funny enough, I gave it a 9.0.
Oh wow.
No way. Great
Yeah.
call, Jordan. Look at that.
Wow. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Wow.
I
All right,
really like this
so
album.
before we move on, here's a question. Because so the second album was widely panned, did not get reviewed well at all by critics and fans back when this came out. It was not a liked album at all. And I mean,
Stupid.
even the streaming albums, the streaming numbers, they don't lie. I mean, only 2 songs crack their top 10, and that's Practice Makes Perfect and Navigate Me. Are there any songs on the second album that you think could have possibly been bigger than Curse of Curves, which is still probably one of the most streamed pop punk songs today?
I don't know.
I think Practice might be the only one, but I don't know if it was catchy enough. Because Curse of Curves is it's like one of those, Curse of Curves is like one of those songs that's in every like playlist that auto populates nowadays for pop punk. It's just weird.
I don't
I
think
would say
anything.
probably not, but
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't really know why.
I don't know either.
But,
It's weird. It's just crazy to
yeah.
look back at it like that,
Yeah.
but yeah, because
I
it's just so weird how we all say the second album is better than the first, where that's literally the opposite of Real World and how everyone felt. If you ask anybody who knows who this band is to name like a song, they're gonna say, "Oh, Curse of Curves." You tell them to name a second song, they're gonna look at you like they're an idiot.
Yeah, and that might be true. I think though the general quality of the album was better on the second album. There was just no star power, nothing that really stands out.
Yeah.
The floor is much higher, but the floor and the ceiling are at the same point.
Yeah,
You know,
that makes
sort of
sense.
thing.
That makes really good sense.
Well, I
Overall,
guess I would say the only thing compared to the second album that I think could be compared to as good as maybe as Curse of the Curves would be Hollywood, but that's just me. I just really like that
yeah,
song.
that's
Same.
respectable.
I think that could be probably maybe the closest one to maybe compare to that. But,
I might throw Loser into the conversation too, because I did think that was pretty catchy in the beginning.
No, that makes sense. I know when you're listening, you probably came across, they have, well, I probably didn't listen to them, but they had 3 singles that came out in 2009. These are just old songs from the Archive that their label released. You had Through to You. It was just kind of generic. Lyrical Lies, which was an acoustic song, but this had a full electric version. And then you have Hip Bones and Microphones. Again, nothing too amazing there. Just old stuff that never got released. The Academy has had the same thing happen in 2009, where Fuwa Ramen's kind of released a bunch of old songs from bands. But yeah, only 2 albums. Obviously a huge hit, Curse of Curves. 2 solid albums from this band. I wonder who he's gonna pick next. Oh well, I'm not telling you this time because John, Well, actually, we didn't give our final score of the band. I gave them an 8.0.
I gave them an 8.2.
Wow.
7.9.
Oh my.
Hey, look
But
at us.
even
I think this is the most we've ever lined up ever.
it's pretty
This is
close.
pretty close. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that. Good for us.
So,
That second album, that really did it for me.
yeah, good. I like that. That's good. I like finding new music that I like and that you guys like. So
Mhm.
next week, John picks. And John, what band are you picking for us?
I'm very excited for this new band.
New band. All right.
Well, they're not new, but new for this podcast. They are
Okay.
a older band.
Okay.
I've actually, prior to this podcast, I think I've only listened to one, maybe two of their songs before. So it's
Okay.
going to be a first listen for me, too. And this band comes from Massachusetts and would be Rev Theory. That's right. Rev Theory is our band for next week.
Interesting.
All you WWE fans might be familiar with their work.
Oh, I don't know them from that. I only know them from Blue Mountain State.
Also a great TV show.
But you called them an old band, and they were
Okay.
after Cute Is What We Aim For and Academy Is.
They
What
were,
the hell?
And
late
they were after
2000s.
Neon Tree.
What
They
the-
were after
what the hell?
Ice Nine Kills. What is Ice Nine Kills, an oldies band now?
Yes, they are.
You literally pick the newest band that we've done so far and call them an old band.
Well, they're old compared to being new.
Pissing me
They're
off.
not brand new. I guess they are. I guess they're still sort of active.
They're old compared to being new. What the hell does that even mean?
It means they're not new, so they're older. Older than being new.
John's hammered.
Hey, that's
I
none
got
of your
so angry for
business.
a second I farted.
Well,
What the heck
mic
was
didn't
that
catch
even
it, so it
supposed to
doesn't count.
mean?
You know what? I'm gonna
God,
let you figure it out on your own. I'm
I'm
tired of
hearing
explaining this to you.
voices in my head now. Is that the band that has voices in my head and Hell Yeah on every single album?
It sure does.
Maybe. Look, they really lean into their WWE connection, and you can't fault them for that. Or you can, like
I
you
can. I will fault them for that. Wait till I review them.
are. Oh, just wait
On
till I review them.
on every single album, I'm going to say my favorite song was Hell Yeah, my least favorite was Voices. Every single album. Just wait.
Look, I can't stop you. Just know that you're not wrong.
And Kevin, oh boy, he's going to say he hates them and give them a 7.0.
You're
I
not
can see
wrong.
that. That sounds like Kevin.
All right. Do we have any final thoughts on Cute Is What We Aim For or our prepping for next week?
Only that I want Cute is what we aim for to reunite and drop like 9 more albums between now and next week.
Well, they haven't toured in 6 years, yet somehow they're still labeled as active. So I don't know what he does for a day job besides drink.
Well, do you need anything else?
Well, I guess you guys have that in common.
I kind of walked into that one. Much like
Better than, better than driving.
Yeah, much better than driving, huh?
I don't know. Let's find out next time.
Yes, next week, right here. on Three
DUI
Guys,
Central.
One
Oh,
Band.
whoops. We were going in different directions with that one. Let's try that again.
All right, right here next week on Disney Channel. Right?
Yeah, and right there, we just got hit by copyright.
Yeah.
All right. Next week on how to not get a DUI.
That shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully.
As long as there's a Domino's, you're safe.
Yep, Domino's is the savior.
Do they ever do a Rumpleman stuffed crust?
Damn, I would not want that. Holy shit.
You say that, and then 4 a.m. when you can't even see your feet because you're buzzing so hard, that's going to look like a great pizza.
I hope that never happens to me ever.
Oh,
Oh, geez.
boy. It is funny talking about alcohol and alcohol abuse.
Oh, you can have all that fun. Rumplemans is no fun for anyone.
Didn't you do like 8 of them last night?
No, I did 9.
Oh, okay. That's better.
Yeah. I only end with odd numbers.
Oh. That makes sense, actually.
Yep.
That really does make sense. I hear if you get to 11, you can get out of a DUI.
If you get to 11, you can get out of everything.
That's true.
You'll be out.
11 bottles of Rumple on the wall. There we go.
Oh gosh. Oh, that, I feel sorry for that poor soul. Oh man.
Who? You? Next time I see you?
Yeah, maybe. No comment.
I'm going to be walking with that backpack, and you're just going to hear bottles
Clank,
jingling, and it's
clank,
just
clank.
20 bottles of Rumple.
Ugh.
I'm going to do that like magic trick where I pull a coin out of your ear, and instead of I pull a bottle of Rumple out of your
A
ass,
bottle of Rumple.
I pull it out of your butt.
That would be the worst magic trick of all time.
Oh, I
No
can put it
doubt.
back in then.
No, I think one trick is enough.
All right.
All right.
That's a good place to end. Rumple up the butt. All right.
Whatever you say.
All right. This has been three men, one band.
See ya.
Do I end it? Okay. There we go. All right. See you next time when we talk about some Rev theory.
Bye-bye.
Give me
I've got the gift of one-liners and you've got the curse of curves.